Hello and welcome back, all you fabulous fighting fantasy aficionados, for yet another episode of Fighting Fantasy Fun. But not just any kind of fighting fantasy fun, because today is episode 100. 100. Yes, I've made 100, well, 99 up until now, episodes of Fighting Fantasy. No, that's not right. I've published 99 episodes before this moment. I've actually made more than 100 because I'm ahead of my publishing schedule. But in the last few episodes, I have promised that today I would play Fighting Fantasy Roulette again for the second time, just like I did when I had my 400 subscriber special. And the result from that time is here. I found my character sheet and I got to book 27. Well, actually, I should explain, shouldn't I? Yes, what is Fighting Fantasy Roulette? Well, the way it works is that you don't play just one book, you play all the books. And you start with book number 1, The Warlock of Firetop Mountain. You go to paragraph 1, and then you make your choice based on the options in paragraph 1. But instead of going to that new paragraph in book number 1, you then move on to book number 2. And then you go to that paragraph, and then you make a new choice, etc., etc. And that's such a memorable encounter from Citadel of Chaos. So I remember that one. Okay. And in order to give us the maximum chance of survival in combat, we start with maximum abilities. So we got skill 12, stamina 24, luck 12. If suddenly we need an item, we might improvise. If we need something that doesn't exist in all the books, we might improvise. It all depends, really. So usually, well, when I say usually, I mean last time. The way it ended was that I got to a paragraph that was an insta-death or the adventure ends here kind of paragraph. The aim of the game is to get to a paragraph 400 and win. And if not, it is to get as far as possible. And we go through all the 69 books if need be, and then start over from book number 1 again. We're not doing sorcery because the page numbers are quite different because of the sizes. Most of the standard fighting fantasy books are 400 paragraphs. If not, we'll have to improvise something as well. Let's just get started, shall we? And we're starting with this one, The Warlock of Firetop Mountain. Boom. Okay, here we are on my desk. I got a few piles of books to get me started. Hopefully I'll get through these and more. And I got the first one, the one that started it all. And I got my character sheet, which just has my abilities. If we need gold, I'll improvise. If we need potions, food, etc. Yeah, most of the books don't seem to have provisions and potions. I'm not sure what to do with that, but for the moment I'm not including them, I think. And then instead of making a regular map in this one, what we do is we just write a list of the books we go through, the paragraphs we go through, and make notes of what happens. So just like this I did last time, so that that can help me on future playthroughs. If you find a victory, of course, you could. You don't want to do the same thing over again, so you may start on book 2 instead of book 1, for instance, which will give a completely different adventure. Okay. So here we are on paragraph 1. At last, your 2-day hike is over. You unsheathe your sword, lay it on the ground, and sigh with relief as you lower yourself down onto the mossy rocks to sit for a moment's rest. You stretch, rub your eyes, and finally look up at Firetop Mountain. The very mountain itself looks menacing. The steep face in front of you looks to have been savaged by the claws of some gargantuan beast. Sharp rocky crags jut out at unnatural angles. At the top of the mountain you can see the eerie red colouring, probably some strange vegetation, which has given the mountain its name. Perhaps no one will ever know exactly what grows up there, as climbing the peak must surely be impossible, or you do it in a different book, though. Your quest lies ahead of you, Across the clearing is a dark cave entrance. You pick up your sword, get to your feet, and consider what dangers may lie ahead of you. But with determination you thrust the sword home into its scabbard and approach the cave. You peer into the gloom to see dark, slimy walls with pools of water on the stone floor in front of you. The air is cold and dank. You light your lantern and step warily into the blackness. Cobwebs brush your face, and you hear the scurrying of tiny feet. Rats, most likely. You set off into the cave. After a few yards, you arrive at a junction. Will you turn west or east? So I'm going to... Last time I turned east. Let's be a little bit more adventurous. And this time we're going to turn west. So I'm going to go to Fighting Fantasy Gamebook number 2, paragraph 71. And so I am done with... And that means I'm not following my previous playthrough at all, which means everything that happens is going to be new and exciting. Okay. You draw your sword and hack at the tentacle. Oh dear. The tentacle will not fight back, as will a normal creature, but instead is trying to drag you into a large hole in the ground which is opening around its base. You do not need to roll for the tentacle, as it has an attack strength of 15 and a stamina score of 2. Throw for combat in the normal way, but if your own attack strength comes to less than 15, do not subtract any points from your stamina. However, if you do not defeat the creature within 3 attack rounds, it succeeds in dragging you into its lair, and your adventure is over. If you do defeat it, you can peel the tentacle off your leg and proceed to the main entrance to the Black Tower. Okay, so tentacle battle. So clearly, turning east is actually safer here. So I'm going to roll for my... Of course, I will get this one in a walkover almost, unless I roll Snake Eyes 3 times. So I roll 7, which means my attack strength is greater than 15, and I win. So it's not as hazardous as it sounds. And then turn to 218. So no choice there. 218. Maybe I'll make a sort of a little sort of note of how that is not a choice, because that could be relevant if I play this again now, or when I play this again. Okay. Then we are getting to the Forest of Doom. Gamebook number 3, paragraph 218. You curse as you wonder who set this infernal trap. After 10 minutes, you hear footsteps and begin to panic, making frantic swaying movements in the air, trying to free your foot from the noose. Then a small boy dressed in green leather shorts and green shirt appears. He is chewing on what looks like a chicken bone. He walks underneath you, looks up and smiles, saying, "Ha ha, somebody's caught in the ogre's tree trap." You ask him politely to pass you your sword. "That will cost you 5 gold pieces, or perhaps you have a nice magical item for me," he says, eyes widening. You are in no position to argue and must give the boy the gold or one of your magical items. Make the necessary deduction on your adventure sheet. The small boy then passes you your sword and runs away down the path. You cut the rope holding your foot and fall heavily to the ground. You get to your feet and brush the dirt from your clothes. To continue northwards, turn to 274. Okay, so no choice again. I mean, well, I suppose I should have some gold. So to put on gold here, and I start with 20. So now I got 15. Yeah, that seems fair, doesn't it? So I'm going to FF4 and paragraph. Hang on. 274. So 274 again, no choice. Just make sure I can see my camera properly now. And we are going into space, actually. That's how far. So we go north all the way into space. Whoosh. 274. That's quite late in the book. They spring to attention as you approach, leveling their sticks at you. One of your party reacts in haste, going for his phaser, and a missile shoots from the end of one of the guard's sticks, hitting him square in the chest. Throw a die for each crew member. The one with the highest score has been hit and is seriously wounded. Well, we don't have any crew members now. If you have your medical officer with you, throw 2 dice. If you roll less than your MO skill, your overanxious crew member will not die, but may take no further part in the action until he is returned to the ship. If you do not have your MO, or if the number rolled equals or exceeds your MO's skill, you cannot save this crew member and he drops down dead. The guards keep you covered and usher you into the keep. Turn to 91. So again, no choice as we go into Fighting Fantasy Game Book number 5. So, City of Thieves. And paragraph 91. You pass a beggar in the street. He is sitting in the gutter and holds an empty tin in his hand. If you wish to toss a gold piece into his tin, turn to 332. If you would rather walk past him, turn to 124. So now I've got a choice. And I am going to walk past him. I'm going to walk past him. So far, I walk straight into Death Trap Dungeon. Yes. And paragraph 124. Oh, you got a combat. You throw the trapdoor open and run up the steps into a bright lantern-lit room. 2 goblins are sharpening their short swords on the stone set in the middle of the floor. You catch them momentarily off guard, but they quickly recover and both rush forward to attack you. Both goblins will have a separate attack on you in each attack round. So it's a combat against 2. So we've got... I'm fighting a... So that's here. I'll just put a sort of marker there. So a 5-4 and a 5-5 at the same time. So I've got a 7 skill point advantage. I'm going to start with the first one because it's only got 4 stamina. So he rolls a 4. I roll a 9. So he's down to 2. Second goblin rolls 10. I roll 9. So nothing happens there. First goblin again. He rolls an 8, I roll a 6, so he is dead. Second goblin rolls 3, I roll 7, so I defend myself successfully. Now I'm attacking the second goblin. He rolls a 7, I roll a 12. 5, 5, and finally he rolls 9 and I roll 8. He is dead. So there we are. So goblins. Here they be goblins. If you win, turn to 81. So no choice again as I go into number 7, 81. And we are going to the Island of the Lizard King. Fire Island and paragraph 81. Okay. Oh, another combat. Oh my. As you push your way slowly through the undergrowth, the hairs on the back of your neck start to prickle. And you feel that you are being watched. You stand back, sword ready, watching the leaves for any sign of movement. Then 3 dark-skinned men step into view, each wearing only a crude loincloth. They are armed with stone clubs and long spears, but you are more alarmed to see that each wears a belt of shrunken human heads. The headhunters start to argue about who should kill you and earn the right to wear your head on his belt. Finally, one steps forward. Fight them one at a time. Okay, so headhunters, and so that's 6, 6, 7, 6, and 6, 7. And there we go. So, okay, and one at a time. So, first one, I've got a 6 skill point advantage. He rolls 5, I roll 5. He rolls 6, I roll 9. And he rolls 4. I roll 10, so he is dead. Second headhunter, I've got a 5 skill point advantage. He rolls 8. I roll 6. 6, 8, and finally perhaps 8 and 12. Last one, I've got a 6 skill point advantage. 5, 7. 6, 7, 11, 11, and finally, perhaps, he rolls 7 and I roll 7, and he is also gone. If you win, turn to 177, so again, no choice, as they usually wouldn't be at the end of a combat. And we are going into Scorpion Swamp. That is a huge tick, isn't it? Right, 177. And that's written, of course, by American Steve Jackson. Clever guy. Okay. Unfortunately, you cannot help the giant, but he no longer seems disposed to attack you. Almost another battle there. So you walk past him. Turn to 161. So again, no choice, as we go into Caverns of the Snow Witch, which might be really cold and frosty and icy and full of vampires and dragons, and some really nice illustrations as well. You finally reach the end of the gorge and wonder where to head next. The effect of the death spell is accelerating. Lose 2 stamina points. Stamina 22. You are beginning to lose hope of finding the healer. If you wish to continue walking east over the edge of the gorge, turn to 302. If you would rather walk back down the gorge, turn to 269. So I've got a choice. I'm going to go to 302. Yes. 302. And 302 can be quite scary because that is in House of Hell. You spring on the hunchback and attack. Resolve your battle. So I've got hunchback. And he is 7/7. If you win, you may either... Yeah, okay. So 7/7. I've got a 5 skill point advantage. He rolls 9, 10, 8, 10, 6, 8, and finally, perhaps, he rolls 7 and I roll 8, and he is dead. It's quite a bloodbath this time. If you win, you may either head for the staircase or explore the cellar. So I'm going into book 11, and I'm going to go to 393. Let's go with 393. I'm going to explore, go for the staircase. And the staircase is in the world of Orb, in the Talisman of Death. 393. Where are we? Yes. Wanting to take you alive, the captain closes with you and slams her shield into your sword arm. Before you can strike again, she brings the hilt of her sword crashing into the side of your neck. You slump to the floor, stunned. Your arms are tied behind you, and you are pushed on your way once more. Turn to 351. Well, good thing I'm going to a different book. That sounds terrible. Okay. So I'm going to 351. No choice. In my next book, which is Space Assassin. Yes, not my favorite. Not my favorite. Okay. Had some interesting bits, but yeah. The sentinels are smoking piles of debris, littering the floor with smashed and burning parts. You stride past them and through the exit. Turn to 369. So maybe I'm going to 369, and in this case I think I'll need to do something differently because that is a higher paragraph number than that actually exists in Freeway Fighter, which means I'll probably have to convert it to something else. And I think what I'll do is just reduce the number by 100. I think, yeah. So I'll go to 269 instead. I'll just decide what to do before I go into the book, obviously. Because, no, actually, it does have more than 369. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought it had less, but it's got 380 paragraphs. I thought it had 360 now. So I can go to 369, which is... The masked man takes 200 credits from you and then reverses the bus to let you enter the tunnel. You soon pass through it and find yourself driving along a twisting road which cuts through the bottom of a deep canyon. Turn to 130. 130. 200 credits. Do I have a credit balance too? Yeah, I'll just do credits. Credits and start credits with 2,000, and I'm gonna go down to 1,800. Yep. Temple of Terror is the next one, and paragraph 130. Let's see where we get to. Aha! You fall into the water with a resounding splash. You are not even conscious of your flesh turning soft and falling away from your bones. The water is now like concentrated acid because of its reaction with the blood of the tentacled thing. Your adventure is over. So that is the end. That was actually quite a short one again. So far, this is my second best result in Fighting Fantasy Roulette. So this time I managed to get to book 14. Last time I got to book 27. And there's a lot more battle in this path than the one I took last time. Right. Okay, I think I'll leave it there. I will play Fighting Fantasy Roulette again because it is a lot of fun, and it's just so random and crazy, and it usually doesn't take that long either. So it's quite a sort of a quick game to play. So, did you enjoy watching that? If you are going to play Fighting Fantasy Roulette yourself, please let me know in the comments how it went. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, join me on Patreon, all those things. And I will see you in episode 101, which will be my 10th episode of Rebel Planet. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. So thank you for watching, and goodbye for now. Bye bye.